Well, I'm Dennis Appelgate, and this is my wife Charlene, and we live here in Toledo, Iowa, in a house that was built in 1898, we found out. And we are the second family to own it. There was 2 generations of the first family, and then us, and we've owned it now for 30 years. We had always wanted to side our house, but we couldn't do it until we had the ability to do some windows and some roof work first. And finally, in 2012, we decided to call Home Town Restyling and proceed with a long overdue siding project. We had originally heard of Home Town Restyling by a sign we saw in the yard of a neighbor who I knew very well professionally, and I said, "What's your background or your dealings with Home Town Restyling like?" And he said, "Oh, they're great." And he said, "If you want to give them a call for windows or whatever, they do a good job." So that's how we initially did it. Of course, it was followed up by seeing many commercials on television. But we've worked with Tom Casey over the years with regard to soffit work and window work, and finally that was done some years ago, and now we've just finished our siding project. I must say, and I'm doing this voluntarily without any compensation for as an advertiser or as a commercial actor, I must say that I couldn't be more pleased with the work and the customer service that we've had with Home Town Restyling. They've gone over and above anything that we would have expected. And I put a shout out especially to the crew that did our siding work, 2 guys that worked on our project for about a month, and that was John and Troy. And they started the job and looked like it was going to be a challenge for them, as it was. We had some wood that was rotting. We had some old wood siding that had, of course, had paint put on it over the years and was chipping off, and there was actually some boards that were falling off of the house. And when John headed up the project, I told him, "I want you to do this project as best you can, as if it was your own house, and make some decisions that you'll have to make along the way." Well, we didn't know that there would be a lot of those types of decisions, and each and every one he would talk to me about, but ultimately he did it the way that he would have done on his own house, and I'm sure he would do that for any customer. But there were so many little details, the way he covered the meters, the way that he hid our cables, the way that he covered our electrical outlets on the outside of the house. Each and every one of those things was done just almost beyond anything we would have imagined. They had an unbelievable work ethic, and most of all, they had an unbelievable ability to talk with us, and we became almost like friends or part of the family as they worked with us over the month. There were some cold days, there were some hot days, there were some challenging days, and there were days that I didn't know if they'd be able to figure something out, but they always did. And in the end, we were hugging them and saying goodbye as if we had ended a family reunion. And that's the way Home Town Restyling, I think, as a company as a whole, from our experience with Tom Casey, who always had to make the final call on things, but with the crew that they have, and other crews I'm sure as well, just couldn't have treated us any better. And I'm a real big person on customer service, whether it be when you go to a restaurant or you go to a department store or you go to a car dealership. I'm about true, honest work ethic and customer service, and I told my kids that's what I want them to do in whatever jobs they decide. And I don't know how it is that Home Town Restyling can have that type of work ethic, but the crew that did our windows and another crew that did our soffits, but particularly the crew that did our siding, couldn't be any better. And I would recommend, highly recommend, and I'd be happy to visit with anybody that would ever want me to give more details on the job that is so well done. And we have a house that we now are truly and totally proud of because of their work.